Hello everyone, Brandon's Aquariums and Terrariums, and today we're going to be talking about several easy beginner plants. So all the plants that we will be going over today will be incredibly easy to keep, whether you've been in the fish keeping hobby for a decade or you're just getting started. So the first plant on our list is duckweed. This is an incredibly easy to keep plant. Even if you have trouble keeping the plastic plants alive, you'll be able to keep this one alive. All you need is really a light and water. It will grow pretty much anywhere. You don't need to plant it, just throw it in the top. If you have a buddy who has duckweed, they'll definitely give you some. This stuff grows like crazy. Or maybe if you even have a pond nearby, you can take a little bit and grow it inside of your aquarium. This plant is really good if you have a betta because lots of the time they'll hang out at the top of the water, and in the wild they would find floating plants to hide underneath in case there would be birds flying over top, because they know the birds couldn't see them through all the thick duckweed. The next on our list is basic moss. This is actually stuff I got in my backyard and I threw it underwater to see what it would do. Yesterday I recently propagated some moss, and there's a bit of duckweed stuck in here, but that'll either die or float back to the top. But if you just go out in your backyard, pull up a little bit of moss and throw it underwater, it'll grow like crazy. Also, you can use Java moss. It's an aquatic moss specifically from, I believe, Southeast Asia, where the next plant on our list comes. But all the plants on this list need no light, and you probably won't have to dose too much fertilizer, if any at all. So, next we have the Java fern. This is specifically Java fern Windavel, but any kind works great for beginners. There's the basic Java fern, Trident Java fern. There's a lot of different varieties, but the trick with this plant is never ever plant it in the substrate. You can have the roots sticking in there, but the rhizome, never put it in there. So, ferns have special, almost like a stem on the ground called a rhizome, and they need, specifically the Java fern, not all ferns do, but they need it out in the air, or in the water in this case. So what you want to do is just glue it to a piece of wood or rock or something like that, and it will grow really well. I do want to say, if you get a Java fern from PetSmart or something like that, it's grown out of water, and when you stick it into the, stick it in your aquarium, it'll probably die, possibly even all of it, but what they'll do is the leaf will start to grow little baby Java ferns off of it, which is what this one is. So if you don't want a bunch of little Java ferns because they grow really, really slow, I've had this one for around a year and it's only about an inch tall, just get one that's already grown underwater, like from a local fish store, or I think Petco sells them submerged. Or what you can do is ask your buddy for a piece of his Java fern. You would just want to cut the rhizome in half, plant, then you can plant the other two pieces anywhere you want, and they'll just start to grow. Now, for my personal favorite plant that I own, the Anubias. Very similar to the Java fern, except it's from West Africa and not a fern. Let's zoom in a little on this. Right, and of course the Corys are photobombing, but it's the plant right there. Just like with the Java fern, you'll stick it to a piece of rock or glue it or wedge it in between a little piece of wood or something like that. It's very hardy, very low light, and incredibly durable. Fish can chew on this a lot. It's very leathery feeling. Almost like a purse, almost. That's the best thing I can use to describe it. It is a little bit on the expensive side. For a thing of it at PetSmart, it's around $8, and it grows very slowly, but it is easy to propagate. You'll just, like the Java fern, cut it in two pieces and plant it again. And my dream aquarium would probably have a ton of Anubias in it, mostly because I can't kill it, and I seriously think it's a really amazing plant that everyone should get. Next we have Vallisneria. This is pretty much an aquatic grass, and it feeds from roots. This is very low light, and it spreads through little runners, as you can see. Well, let's see if I can get a good angle. There's that little green strand that brings it to another plant, just like the one here. And you can cut that off and move it to another part of your aquarium or someone else's. It's a very hardy plant, and it also doesn't even need to be heated. Well, all the plants here don't need to be heated, but this one especially does well in cool waters. Next we have crypts. These are very hardy plants as well. These ones are more of a bronze crypt. These ones are called undulated crypts, but there's several other kinds that are all very, very hardy. The one thing you want to worry about, though, is lots of the time when you get them, they'll die back quite a bit. But after a month or so, they'll start to grow back. It's called crypt melt, and it's very easy to deal with. You just might have an ugly plant for a month or two, but after it grows back, it'll have a nice leafy structure to it, and lots of the time you'll get cool bronzes, sometimes reds. You may want to do like some root tabs or some dirt in the tank, but they're very good plants and probably one of my favorites that I own. Well, like and subscribe. This is the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and if you really enjoyed it, please share it with someone you know. Our goal for this year is 100 subscribers, and we're almost up to 50. So let me know if you've tried any of these plants before or are going to after this. So, goodbye.